Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Shulk's matchup spread in order to give you guys an idea as to where I think Shulk stands in the meta of Smash Ultimate. This video is going to be split into two parts. This first video will be covering kind of the matchups that I think Shulk solidly wins. And then in the second part, we'll kind of go with, the more tougher matchups and the ones that I think he struggles a little bit against. Hey everyone, just a quick reminder that only 17% of you guys are actually subscribed, so make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Smash content and Shulk content. Also, be sure to join my Discord server right here in the link in the description below and join the community. Alright, that's enough from me. Back to the video. Keep in mind that these are all my own opinion, and you can either agree or disagree however you want. I don't really care. This is mostly just coming purely from my own experience, and we can talk about it in the comments. Other than that, let's get right into it. So first, we have our first category, which is, I called it press buttons to win. These are going to be the +3 matchups that Shulk really doesn't really have to try. He just kind of does his thing. He just press neutral air, forward air, space aerials, use your Bayonetta arts. You kind of just win for free. And so the first character that's going to go into that category is going to be, King Dedede. So the thing with King Dedede is that he has a really big hurt box, and he has a big he has like no aerial mobility. And Gordo is pretty much useless against Shulk and neutral. So a lot of King Dedede's weaknesses are just highly exploitable with Shulk. Because of that big hurt box, it's so easy to just keep swinging onto him. There's nothing he can do about it. Dedede has like no aerial mobility, so you can easily just keep juggling him or keep him in the air, keep him in disadvantage. And if he tries with a Gordo at you, you can neutral air, forward air, any of those moves, and it'll reflect it right back at him. So it's a pretty free matchup for Shulk. Next, we're going to have Ganon, who kind of loses for similar reasons. Ganon basically just has, again, no mobility, no airspeed, really slow frame data, super exploitable recovery. So you just edge guard him for free, you neutral air all around him for free, just kind of run circles around him, especially with like speed art, jump art, anything like that. You just want to be careful in like Buster or Smash Art because he can hit you like 2 or 3 times and you might actually just die. But that's just kind of how that matchup goes against any other character. Shulk or Ganon versus any character, that's how that goes. Next, we're going to have DK. Kind of the similar trend here, where he has a massive hurt box, so it's super easy to just, neutral air, forward air all up in his face. And Donkey Kong doesn't really have the tools to alleviate a lot of that. His forward air is really slow. Back air is a pretty good tool. Donkey Kong has a really good back air, so that's a good tool he has against Shulk. DK's recovery is really bad and exploitable, so there's not a lot he can do in that department. He gets edge guarded pretty freely. It's pretty much it. Like, there's not as much to say on these characters that like he just utterly destroys it, even like the characters that are like are +2, because they're not really like really good characters. There's not like any like top tier characters that like Shulk just flat out denies, or like high tier characters. So this is going to be a lot of the low tier, mid tier characters that, Shulk as a character is just better, basically. Next is going to be Little Mac. Little Mac, like, you don't even have to try. You just throw him off stage, press forward air, and then he's dead. His ground game is like his best thing that he has. So just kind of play around him, space neutral airs, forward airs. Don't get hit, really. Keep him in the air, platform camp him. You have a lot, and I mean a lot of options to counterplay Little Mac. Next, we're going to have Kirby. So the thing with Kirby is that he's really floaty. He doesn't have a lot of range. So Kirby's going to be looking for a lot of aerials. He's going to be looking for a lot of neutral airs, forward airs, back airs, just all of his different aerials. And they don't have the range to compete with Shulk. And since Kirby's going to be looking for a lot of short hops and he's going to be jumping around a lot, he's going to be in the air a lot, which makes him super susceptible to neutral air, forward air, up tilt, all that kind of stuff. And that's pretty much the same thing for Jigglypuff. Both these characters just can't really contest Shulk's massive Monado. And they're also super light, so they're going to die super quick to just Vanilla Shulk and Smash Art Shulk. And then next here, we're going to have Steve. Where's Steve? There he is. So Steve, even though he has a sword, he has no range with said sword. So that in itself is already really bad. Plus, Steve has a lot of downtime between trying to mine and craft and build. And by the time he sets all that stuff up, Shulk can just use shield art, or not shield art, speed art, jump art, anything like that, or even just vanilla Shulk could just flat out just approach him and just kind of swing his sword into Steve and just prevent him from playing the game. And that's just a common weakness for Steve in general, is because most characters just go up to his face, and what's he gonna do? He doesn't have any options to alleviate any kind of pressure while he's trying to build or do any of his processes. Next is gonna be Ridley, who again, another big body character, so it's gonna be pretty free to just smack this character relentlessly. He does have neutral air, which is pretty good at contesting Shulk because it's a good out of shield option and it's faster than Shulk's neutral air. So he does have that going for him. But other than that, he has a really linear gameplay style. He's always going to be fishing for forward smash, neutral air, side B, up Bs, just stuff like that. And it's super easy to telegraph and super easy to punish him. It's mostly just a matchup thing. But once you have the matchup down, you'll destroy this character every time. Next is Robin, who again, another sword character who just doesn't have the range to compete with Shulk. And also his projectiles, I've never thought were very good projectiles. They do have good traps and combos sometimes, but you can use shield art to alleviate a lot of that. Plus you just turn on jump or speed art and you just completely, jump over or just get past all of his projectiles because they're so slow. His recovery has limited resources and his hitbox is below him. So he's going to be super exploitable to just constant edge guarding from Shulk, and there's not really much you can do about that. Next is going to be Nes and Lucas, who again, they're super floaty. They rely a lot on aerials. So it's going to be super easy to just anti-air them constantly with up tilts, neutral air, forward air, the works. And they just don't have the range to compete with that. Their recoveries are also extremely exploitable. And the same thing goes for Lucas. Lucas is also exploitable to all the same weaknesses. He does have the snake, which helps him with his tether recovery. That does help him recover a lot easier. But it's still just in neutral. He's going to lose like every interaction just because of his lack of range compared to Shulk. Next is going to be Incineroar. I'm going to put a few characters ahead of us here. Incineroar, Lucario, and Plant. All right, so with these characters, Incineroar, super just awful off stage. Might be one of the worst recoveries in the game. Just goes up, straight kills himself. So it's super easy to just throw him off stage, forward air him once, and he's dead. Incineroar can use Rage against you pretty well, and the command grab side B is pretty good. But overall, just his lack of range. He's also super slow, similar to like Ganon. It's kind of the same matchup as Ganon, really, where it's like, if you get hit, then you're going to be in trouble, but throw him off stage and he's dead, or just kind of walk circles around him because he has no mobility in comparison to you. Lucario, not a very good character in general. You can use Smash Art to just really eliminate that stock super quickly if he gets too high up in aura range. Yeah, and then also if he does get to a high aura, if he tries to do anything to you, you can just shield art. You just have to play around the aura sphere carefully. His recovery is super exploitable. A lot of times Lucario's try to land on stage. It's not a good idea against Shulk because between his mobility and his sword range, he can still punish that most of the time. Piranha Plants, he relies a lot on setting up traps and setups and just kind of like standing in one place. So it's super easy to, again, just kind of walk circles around him and just press buttons into him. Recovery is not too hard to edge guard either. Next is going to be Villager and Isabel. Again, just completely outranges them. They have a really exploitable recovery. Neutral air forward air and back air are pretty good tools because of how much range they have, but they're also super weak. So even if you are constantly hitting Shulk with those forward air and back airs, it's not going to really do much. And Shulk can also, if he times correctly, he can just swat those neutral air and forward air projectiles just completely deny them. So overall, those matchups are highly in Shulk's favor. Min Min, you pretty much just jump over the character and just start swinging with neutral air. It's because their moves have so much lag on them, and also just because they're so linear and just like straight out. The Ram, I think that's called the Ram, the one that like flicks up with a little like chakra ram thing. That one is a little bit more useful against Shulk because it can cover short hops, but her whole entire game plan, her kit kind of just comes down to like 3 different moves, and so she can become really like easy to telegraph what she's gonna do. So you just kind of jump over her and do your thing. And then lastly for this category, actually no, we have 2 more characters for this category. We have Bowser Jr. and Dr. Mario. Bowser Jr. pretty much just runs down to Shulk just having better range, which just denies most of his kit. You have to make sure you respect Clown Car. If he tries to like jump afterwards, so after he hits it into you and he jumps, you can always like up tilt. Also, just remember you can't punish a whiffed forward smash because it has like 0 end lag on it. So don't try to like forward smash him back or something, because then he'll just punish you afterwards because yours is much laggier than his. Dr. Mario is just crappy Mario. So he doesn't have the combos to threaten you nearly as much as regular Mario does. His mobility and recovery are way worse. So it's super easy to just press buttons into him. And that's going to do it for the press buttons to win category +3. So then now we're going to do the they can kind of try category. And so these are going to be the characters that also are going to lose to Shulk pretty hard. However, these characters do have individual like tools or things in their moveset that can like actually pose a threat. Not necessarily just to Shulk specifically, but just to any character in general, because they're just better characters than these characters right here, for the most part. So the first character we're going to have for the they can kind of try category is going to be Zelda. So the thing with Zelda is she does have some good traps. Phantom is pretty good. Din's Fire's not bad at edge guarding or just applying pressure on stage. The thing is though, is Shulk's mobility and range just completely outclass Zelda, and you can just jump over the Phantom and just approach with however you want. So she is good at like keeping you out and setting up, you know, zoning tools. Any character with like projectiles or like a lot of zoning tools can still kind of stand a chance against Shulk. But Shulk still is going to outclass her in pretty much every way. For a lot of the same reasons with these characters. Just outrange her, just, yeah, jump over Phantom. So then next, we're going to have Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt, again, lack of range, pretty exploitable recovery. A lot of his combos and, you know, moves that he uses to secure a kill, like his smash attacks, are all multi-hits. So you can shield art out of a lot of that stuff. That's pretty much all it breaks down to. I don't have too much experience with this matchup, like really any at all. So I'm kind of just basing this purely off of speculation and what I know about Duck Hunt versus what I know against Shulk. It's not really from pure experience there. Next is going to be Wii Fit. I do have some experience with Wii Fit, and Wii Fit basically comes down to playing around her soccer ball and her sunbeam and just kind of being in her face and just exploiting her really bad recovery, because her normals don't really stand a chance against your normals because you just have superior range and everything. And you can just walk off forward her when she tries to hula hoop back to stage. You just have to make sure you shield soccer ball and sunbeam, or at the very least also jump over them, roll past them, whatever. You want to be careful not to land into these projectiles because that's what they want you to do. So if you're jumping a lot of like short hops or empty hops or neutral airs, then they might try to catch your landing with those projectiles. So you just have to be aware of that and not just like jump spam like an idiot. So next we're going to have Meta Knight. Meta Knight has a sword, so that helps him a little bit. He has really good frame data. However, his kill confirms aren't really there. He doesn't really have any kill setups to really take out Shulk, and he does have some combos with a lot of like, he has like up air strings into like the neutral B and stuff, but Shulk can just shield out all of that stuff. And again, just completely outrange Meta Knight. So there's not really much he can do in that matchup. His recovery is pretty good because of the hitbox and stuff on it, so it's a little bit trickier to edge guard, plus he could fly. So that makes him a little bit more resistant to air dodging or to edge guarding. So that's really the main reason he's down here and not up there, is because he has a sword and he has decent mobility. Mewtwo. Yeah, Mewtwo has the big hurt box, can outplay Shadow Ball with relative ease. However, his teleport recovery does help against Shulk, because Shulk can't really punish a recovery that's not there because he's teleporting. You can ledge trap him pretty hard. Yeah, like I said, you just have to be careful with Shadow Ball, similar to like Sunbeam with Wii Fit. Just make sure you don't land into it because they're going to be relying on that a lot for ranged pressure and stuff against you. Sheik. Sheik has a pretty good neutral. She's pretty good at closing that distance, closing the gap on you. The problem is she just cannot kill. She does not have like the same like power and like presence that she had in previous Smash games. So Shield Art is going to be really deadly against her because she just won't be able to kill you at all. And also you can even use Smash Art to get out of combos, and you can kill her at like 50-60% in Smash Art because she's like the weight of a piece of paper. So it's super easy to take out her stocks while she has to struggle and struggle and struggle to try and take a stock at like 180 and you can kill her at like 60. But like in terms of like neutral on neutral interactions, she's not that bad because she has a rushdown play style, which is always good against Shulk. But Shulk's still going to outrange her for 90% of those interactions. Next, we're going to have Richter. So the thing with Simon and Richter is they have a very exploitable recovery. They do have a good deal of range, but their moves are really slow and really laggy. So you just have to be careful not to jump into forward air and back air and stuff like that. Don't jump to the axe because Simon and Richter basically rely on you walking into their moves pretty much and just punishing over aggression. Or not really over aggression, but unsafe aggression. So you have to be careful with what you're doing. And like, again, because Shulks like to jump a lot or land with an aerial and stuff. So they're going to always be trying to catch that stuff with the Holy Cross or the axe and stuff like that. The Holy Water, I'm pretty sure you can shield art out of. It is hard though, but that is an option. Be careful not to get Holy Water at the ledge and die to forward smash. Next is going to be the Shotos, Ryu, Ken, Terry. They're all pretty similarly matched, where Shulk just completely outranges these characters and abuses their recoveries for free. However, if these characters do get a hold on you, then they can just kill you at like 60, because they just have like ridiculous combos. So, but for the most part, you're going to completely outrange these characters. Shield art can be useful against their combos. For Terry specifically, he does a little bit better than Ryu and Ken do because of like his kick flip or his side B burst attack or whatever. Those are pretty good against Shulk and catching his landings and stuff. And you just really want to make sure that you use like smash art or like keep him off stage, like when he gets to the 100% for his go thing or whatever, where he gets like those special moves. You really just want to try and take out his stock as soon as possible. And he does have a much better recovery than Ryu and Ken do, since he can use like down B and side B, up B. So he has a lot more recovery options, but they're all really like exploitable. They don't really have like big hitboxes on them. So they're super easy to just walk off forward air. Bayonetta, another matchup I'm not too sure about. It's just kind of more so with my knowledge of both the characters. I don't have too much like personal experience with it because like hardly anybody plays Bayonetta. I know the air slash out of shield is really good. Anytime they try to side B or up B into you, you can always air slash out of shield. Both shield art and smash art are really good to get out of her combos. Like a lot of Shulk players forget that you can use smash art to get out of low percent combos. So that's always an option you have. Make sure you just respect her side B and up B because that's pretty much her entire game plan, is to just keep mashing side B and up B into you until she gets what she wants. And then next we're going to have Pit. And this goes for a Dark Pit as well. So with these characters, generally you can easily win neutral because you have more range. Be wary of neutral or out of shield. Any characters that have good out of shield options are always going to pose a little bit of a threat to you in neutral. Edge guarding is a little bit trickier since he has like a lot of recovery mix-ups because he can fly, he can use up B from multiple angles. He can also just go like underneath the ledge and just recover straight up, which is really hard for Shulk to edge guard because it's out of his forwarder LOS. You want to try to catch his recovery if he goes like below and tries to go straight up to the ledge. Your best option is going to be to try and time a down air to send him back off so you can like catch that 2-frame, or even just like before he can even get the ledge snap animation. Also, when he's off stage, if he's trying to like use his double jumps to come back, you can always use a forward air. Another thing to keep in mind is when they do recover, they do have intangibility on frame 15 to 19, which is like part of that initial like when they first glide right there. So you won't be able to edge guard them during that short like 4-frame period. And then next we have Corin. Corin, the only reason she's really in this category and not this category is because she has a sword, and just having a sword plus having like the range of like her back air and stuff is going to be really helpful against Shulk, just having that sword. Shulk's going to win neutral most of the time because Shulk has bigger hitboxes, and Corin does not pose really any unique threats to Shulk. The only reason she isn't lower is because she has a sword, which automatically helps her just a little bit. Be wary of the intangibility on her recovery. She has a lot of invincibility on the initial like launch from her up B, and so if you like whiff that and it goes through on the intangibility frames with like a forward air, then you'll get caught into the up B. And if you this actually happened to me the other day, is I got caught into her up B, while I was in Smash Art, and I died at like 60. Yeah. So just be careful of that. Other than that, you'll be fine. Rosalina and Luma have a big abusable hurt box, so that's already going to help Shulk a lot to just kind of keep swinging into her. Shulk can kill Luma with relative ease, especially if you just like go into Buster. Just do like a neutral air combo to the Luma real quick. You have to respect her neutral air and her forward air because those are pretty decent moves. Her recovery is kind of tricky to hit, but you still can. But overall, it's still going to be mostly in your favor because Shulk can just outmaneuver her with better mobility and like speed art, jump art, stuff like that. And can just deny Luma. So our next two characters are going to be Luigi and Diddy Kong. Where's Diddy Kong? There he is. All right. So with Luigi, he has just really bad. He has a really bad recovery, so it's super easy to just edge guard him. His lack of range is also a really big weakness for Luigi. You can just keep zoning him out with forward airs and neutral airs and just applying pressure on him. The biggest things against Luigi is to just try not to get grabbed. Always like stay in the air, jump, platform camp. Don't let him grab you. And if he does get a grab on you, or if he does get some kind of combo started, then just save shield art for that. So that way he just can't like complete like this massive combo, get a ton of damage on you. And sometimes because Luigi's such a crazy combo character, he can still combo you while you're in shield art, but you're going to be taking like half the damage, so it's not as big of a deal. And then lastly, Diddy Kong right here. For Diddy Kong, his recovery is easily exploitable. You're going to win the range battle. Air Slash and other moves can deny Monkey Flip. So if he tries to Monkey Flip into you, you can always just Air Slash it. You can always just forward air it, neutral air, anything to just deny that Monkey Flip. The only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to shield the Monkey Flip because this can be a grab hitbox. He can either switch it between it being a grab hitbox or an attack hitbox, but a lot of the times he's probably going to go for this grab one. So you just want to make sure that you don't shield that. You want to go ahead and just jump over it or contest it with a neutral air, Air Slash, anything like that. Watch for a banana toss when you're landing with an aerial. He's always going to try and do a banana toss out of shield. Thankfully, your aerials have low enough landing lag that you shouldn't have to worry about that as long as you're spacing your aerials properly and you're not just like landing into him too aggressively and being stupid. And I think that is going to be about it for this first half of the video. So we're going to have a lot more to say on this other half of the tier list, or matchup spread, I should say. So these are going to be the matchups that are going to be, they're going to be a little bit more closer to even because these are going to be like the better characters who like can do really good stuff. And because of that, they at least stand a chance against Shulk. But there's going to be some ways that Shulk's still going to have the slight advantage over. And then we're going to have our even matchups, and then we're going to have a few of the matchups that I think Shulk loses against. So other than that, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. Subscribe for the second part, which will be in the next week or even sooner. We'll see. And be sure to join my Discord server in the link in the description below. And I will see you guys all later. Bye.